Hey guys, welcome back to the Fandom Fusion podcast. My name is Hannah and today we're going to be talking about SATC.
Okay, guys, I hope you enjoyed that intro. It was a bit different, but I have a new guest on. There's never been here before, and you've already introduced yourself, so you don't need to introduce yourself. So, what are we actually talking about today? Because we did the little abbreviation, but the actual name of it.
So today we're going to be talking about Sex and the City.
So, what actually is it? Explain it a little bit to me. Summarize it.
Okay, Sex and the City was a show that started in the late 90s as it follows four women in their early to mid 30s as they explore life in New York, love, fashion, all sorts of drama and things, basically experiencing life as single women in the mid 30s, which is usually something shunned against by society.
That was a very good summary. That was professional. It sounded like you had pre-planned that. Okay, my next question is: when did you start watching it, and how did you get into it?
So I recently started watching it, I would say a few weeks ago. I saw lots of clips floating around social media, as they usually do.
Mm-hmm.
And it's been something that's been on my watch list for a while now. And
Yeah.
I've finally started watching it. And I'm glad I have, because it seems a lot of people are following along at the moment. There's been a big resurgence of popularity in this show.
Yeah.
Especially on TikTok. So
even I've seen videos on TikTok and clips.
I've just finished it the other day.
Yeah.
There are 2 follow-along movies, which I hope to watch.
Right.
But they don't seem to.
So I don't really know what it is. So is it a show with seasons or is it a movie?
So it's a show that ran, I think, from about 1998 to 2004. There were 6 seasons.
Oh, okay.
And then there is 2 follow-along movies, but they're not as liked much by fans. But it follows Carrie Bradshaw, played by Sarah Jessica Parker. Miranda Hobbs, played by Cynthia Nixon.
Yeah.
Charlotte York, played by Kristen Davis, and then obviously Samantha Jones, played by Kim Cattrall.
Wow. Had that all memorized. Okay, so for someone who has never ever seen it before, what should I really expect going into it, and what kind of target audience is it for, do you think?
I think target audience is mainly, I think it's mainly aimed at women. I think what you can expect going into it is it's filmed in the 90s, so it's quite progressive for the time, but I think a lot of the storylines still hold up today as being quite progressive.
Right.
So it was filmed when a lot of sort of the stereotypes and a lot of sex, like a lot of that wasn't really seen as much in media, it wasn't popularized. I mean, there was a revolution in the 60s, but it still wasn't as talked about as much.
Yeah.
So there's definitely a research into that, but it's not done in a way that's it's sex. Look at this, like, because I know people think sex sells. It is followed along by different storylines, and it's each time it's got a meaning behind it. There's always something going on. There's always something following it. But I think going into it, you can sort of expect, I think, how all these 4 women, they have these different romantic relationships and love interests, but how their friendship still holds on throughout all. So they'll have different romantic escapades, but they all turn to each other in the end.
Yeah.
And there is a big theme of friendship and like sort of sisterhood and womanhood.
That sounds amazing, to be honest. Like I said, for me, I'd only really seen the clips on TikTok, and I don't feel like they do them justice, like shows or anything like that at all. Split into like 200 parts. I don't really count as watching it, but now I know that, that's a little bit more interesting. Okay, so my next question for you is, who's your favorite character, if you can pick? Really old.
I think my favorite character, probably between. No, I think it's gotta be Anthony. I think it's Anthony, who is was Charlotte York's wedding planner turned friend, and he's just sort of been with her throughout the show. I think he was supposed to be a one-off character, but ended up being reoccurring.
Right. Is that your favorite thing about him, or why is your favorite? Or?
I just love his remarks. He's just so quick-witted and sarcastic. It's similar to my other favorite character, Stanford Blatch, who's like Carrie's, I would say, male best friend. I think he's probably her best male relationship she has. They don't end up ever dating though, they're just like as friends, but I think he's definitely probably one of the most important male relationships she has throughout the whole show.
I feel like you know a lot about this show. Like I didn't appreciate it. Considering you've only been watching for a few weeks, you're very knowledgeable about it. I'll give you that. My next question is, what's your favorite plot line? Over
Okay.
6 seasons, that's going to be difficult to pick, but
There is a lot because there's practically a new one for each ladies every episode. But I think my favorite overall, can I say between two?
yeah, of course.
Okay, so I think my first favorite one is Samantha Jones realizing she has like true feelings for Smith Jared. This
Okay.
is a guy she's only intent on sleeping with at first, but
Yeah.
then she continues sleeping with him and she realizes how she can help him in his career.
Yeah.
And then she realizes how much she actually likes him because she's not a relationship person whatsoever.
Right.
But that's her last relationship we see her have in the show, and it is like the way it blossoms and the
Mm.
way he sticks by her, even though she tries to dismiss him because she just does not want. She's not a relationship gal,
Yeah.
but the way he sticks by her, especially when she goes through cancer, which is another good plot line,
Mm.
and the way he's known for notably for his hair because he's got long blonde hair,
Yeah.
and she shaves hers off, and he shaves his off with her,
Oh, that's
even
so
though that's a
sweet.
big thing of his career because she helps him as a movie star.
Oh,
So
that is so cute.
so sweet. And I think my other favorite one is probably Carrie rejecting the idea of kids. There is
Okay.
a storyline where she goes around to someone's house who has children. She takes
Yeah.
her shoes off, and the shoes end up getting stolen. And the woman who has children, she offers to pay for them, and Carrie tells her the price, and it's I think it's $485 for the Manolo Blahniks, and the woman is like, "I'm sorry, but that is crazy money to spend that on shoes. I will absolutely not be paying for that." And she's like, "You've decided to spend your money on shoes. I've got kids to spend on." And Carrie's like, "I should not be shunned just because I choose to not spend my money on children I've had."
Yeah, and also if they stole them, I'd be absolutely fuming. I'd just be
Mm.
going looking for them. I can't lie.
Because it's as soon as Carrie took them off, because the lady asked them to take all their shoes off. It's the
Right.
lady's responsibility. So if the
Oh
shoes
yeah,
go
hundred
missing,
percent.
I just think that was because it's expected of them because they're all mid-30s, expected them to settle down and have kids, and I think that's a massive thing about the show is rejecting those ideas, not
Mm.
conforming to them. So I
Yeah.
like that one.
I think from what you've told me already, I like the fact that someone's bringing awareness to issues or stigmas that people believe in around like women that age and what they experience or what they're expected to experience. I think that's great, especially in that time and that era of media. The fact that they're bringing light to those things, I just think that's great. So one of my last questions is, who is your favorite actor, not character, but actor?
I think probably my favorite actor on the show, either Kim Cattrall because she is just amazing and she gives the performance everything. She makes the character seem so 3D and so alive.
Yeah,
Or it would have to be Chris Noth. He is guest starring throughout the main show. He plays Carrie's like main love interest. Big.
yeah,
He was only supposed to be around for the first season, but actually ended up staying throughout all the seasons.
right.
And I just love him. I don't love the character, but I love how infuriatingly good he is at portraying that
Yeah.
role.
Mm,
Portraying of you never really know what's going on with him.
mm,
He doesn't really give anything away. He's always sort of given a Carrie the runabout, really, and he's
yeah.
so infuriatingly good at portraying that role. Like it,
Mm.
oh, I can't even explain. I just think he's great in it.
I love actors like that where you almost can't really separate them from the character because they've played them that well. That they're just like whenever you see them in media, you just think of the character. I think
Sorry.
that is proof that like they're a good actor and that they can really do their job well. Okay, so last question is, do you just have any comments that you want to make at all, just overall about the show or anything, any last things that you wanted to mention?
I think the main idea is not to let the whole idea of it being about sex put you off because I think it's not. It's an underlying theme. I would
Yeah.
definitely say that. I think because there's so many other things about so many things to know about the fashion and New
Mm,
York itself. There's a lot of episodes that are dedicated to New York, and they do it in a
yeah.
way that's sort of like I've seen a lot of people say this where New York is the fifth character
Yeah.
because they're so devoted to the city itself, also
Right.
fashion, and I like a lot of the storylines are around not just sex but like there's cancer storylines, fertility storylines, so
Mm.
it's all stuff surrounding just life itself and living in New York in that era.
And bringing awareness to it as well, by the sounds of it. I think, like I've said before, just bringing light to things like that through media, I think, is great, because if that's someone's regular show that they like to watch and they see something they can relate to, I think you find that you would enjoy the show more because you can sort of see yourself in it. And that's why I love shows like that or movies like that that bring awareness to subjects that aren't really spoken about a lot. But yeah, thank you very much for coming on the podcast.
Thank you for having me.
And I hope you enjoyed it.
Thank you very much.
So please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye.